Historically, the outgoing president does not have an opportunity to address the Board of Governors during this meeting, but these are unprecedented times. Unprecedented because they are times marked by insecurity, which is born sadness, uncertainty, which is born fear, frustration, which is born anger, and death, which is born grief. Unprecedented because we have endured nearly a half year of being constantly faced with the overwhelming reality and horror of death. First at the hands of the pandemic, then at times at the hands of gunmen, and at other times at the hands of brutality disguising itself as justice. We have endured these times hiding rage, anger, fear, and grief, all in favor of keeping things moving, because for most of us, that's all we know how to do. These are times that have left us confused and scared, in part because we simply don't know when all of this will end. While all this is no doubt at least in part true for all of us, the burden of it has fallen disproportionately upon our Black friends and colleagues. This is not okay. Meanwhile, many of us have, for the most part, stayed silent and saving our shame or frustration for later, silent for fear of speaking up and looking sensitive, or worse, insensitive, angry, tone deaf, or clueless. This too is not okay. So what now? What do we do now that issues always present, but seemingly bubbling below the surface, stare us squarely in the face? What we do is rise. These issues have risen, so we rise to meet them. But we don't rise alone. See, in my eyes, we're a family of 52,000. And like any family, our family has members who need an embrace, to know they are loved, cared about, and important. There are members of our family who need to be heard. There are members of our family who simply need our unwavering and unconditional support. Also, like any other family, whether we like one another or not, we must all live together. And to live together, we must communicate. So let's talk to each other. Let's share a dialogue. As we venture into that dialogue, though, let's acknowledge a few things. Let's acknowledge where we've been, where we are, and where we go from here. Let's acknowledge racism, inequality, injustice, that they are real and that they are ubiquitous. Let's acknowledge what we don't understand about ourselves and each other, while at the same time admitting what we truly want and what we want to know. Let's acknowledge there are things we can each do every day to narrow the gap existing between any two of us. Let's also acknowledge that we cannot expect any member of this family to truly hear what we say until we have proven ourselves trustworthy, consistent, and accountable. And let's acknowledge that we must first hold ourselves accountable before we can be accountable to others. That we must grow and learn about ourselves in order for others to have confidence in us. And let us please be willing to apologize when we fall short, and be willing to rework our approach so that we can meet our family members' expectations. The issues we face, the times we find ourselves in, are bigger than any one of us. It may be hard to see and even harder to admit, but these times have presented us a gift, the gift of a bigger opportunity, an opportunity to meet this moment in history by listening, expressing, and engaging, an opportunity to think about others and how we relate to them, an opportunity to unravel what we cannot even see or know because it is not our unique experience, and we have not taken the time or made the effort to know one another's experience. To get beyond these times, to truly be a unified family, we must listen. Listen without judgment or preconceived notions. Listen to everyone, but especially to those with perspectives and experiences different than our own. The words we speak can fall short of conveying everything that is in our hearts and minds. I learned this difficult lesson myself 2 weeks ago. So let's stop just speaking. Let's ask. Let's invite a perspective different than our own. Let's hear each other, even when, if not especially when, what we hear is critical, feels uncomfortable, or hurts. That is how we can be better. That is how we can do better. And that is how we can deliver hope in the face of hopelessness, change in the face of adversity, life in the face of death. Thank you for this opportunity to break my silence. Now it is time for me to listen. And as I pass the gavel to another member of our family, that is what I will do. Thank you very much.